Okay, friends. Some of you have asked how I dehydrate my starter, my sourdough starter. I make my starter. This is my starter. I fed it this morning and it's going. It has the rest of the day to keep going. And then when it's fully active, I take some and I spread it on parchment paper. Okay? Pretty much you do is spread on parchment paper. I spread it, I even it out. You want this as thin as possible so it can dry. And then what I do, I leave it on top of my counter. Once in a while, I'll flip it throughout the day. It can take a day, it can take 2 days, depending the humidity and how dry is your home. And then once it dries, it becomes like crumble. So I made this just now. Before I fed that, I did this. And I'm gonna leave it on the counter. And then when it's completely dry, I'm gonna show it to you so you can dehydrate your starter. This is ideal if you want to share your starter with somebody else and you don't want to worry about transferring a starter and getting anything. You dry it. And we're not adding no heat to this. Some people put it in a dehydrator or any oven. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to leave it on my counter. It's very hot and in no time. Sometimes I've done it with less than 24 hours. From one day to the next, it completely depends how thin your starter is spreaded. This one might take a little bit longer because it was a little bit thicker and it's a little bit thicker in some spots. So I keep spreading it out and hopefully it will dry by tomorrow. But if not, just leave it. So I'll show you when it's completely dry. Here how I dried my starter. Now I'm gonna put it in my food processor and blend all this. That way it will be easier to hydrate it again. Okay, I'm gonna blend this. Okay, I'm gonna put the rest. This.
What?
Trying to break that.
Why?
And this is how I want it. And now I'm going to hydrate it again so we can see if it's working. I'm gonna get a jar and put this. I'm gonna put 20 grams of water. Wow, exactly 20 grams. And then I'm gonna put 20 grams of my starter. Need to zero out 20 grams. Okay. I'm gonna let this soak all that water until it dissolves. I'm gonna leave this here for, I'll check in about 10 minutes and then we'll go from there. Okay friends, it's been 2 days since the last I checked on this. But I wanted to check, also show you something when you make your starter. There is like some water, dirty water right there. That is called pooch. And that is a sign that your starter is hungry. So if you keep it in the refrigerator, because when you're not using this, you keep it in the refrigerator, it means it's hungry. So I'm gonna feed this starter. This is my first feed since I add my water and dehydrated everything. And I'd seen bubbles in here. So it is live. So I'm going to add 10 grams of water and 10 grams of flour. And we'll keep checking. And this will indicate if our starter is good or not, especially once you dehydrate it. Okay, let's zero out. And I need 10 grams. That's it. Okay, and we're gonna mix this. And then I'm gonna leave it here in the counter, and it should grow. And I'll show you. Already has a smell of like a yeast starter. Just a minute, Joey. Okay, this is how my starter is. It's this thick. Okay, I'm gonna put it back in my counter, and then later on I'll show you if it has double in size and what to look for. Okay, show you. Okay friends, let's see how my starter. Here we go. You know, this is fully active, and you have your starter ready for making sourdough bread. This was done with a dehydrated starter. So now we know it works. I only had to feed it 2 times. So if you have a starter and you want to share with some friends, dehydrate it like I did in this video, and then do this. Until next time, have a good one.